Had lots and lots of good opportunities in the triple Qs. I've been working with my favorite family office in Oregon, though they are all over the United States right now. They have been nailing these things. So they're seeing them, I'm seeing them. We are looking at a very geometric trade in the triple Qs today. And by geometric, I just mean everything is lining up nice and mathematically, right? So if you can see these things expand and contract, and if you can look for the measured moves and you can look for the fib ratios and all these things that we know sort of apply to the way that stocks move, then what you wind up seeing is the logic behind what's coming next. So with that said, let's take a look at the charts and the game plan for this afternoon. You see it here. We had a big move this morning. So we had economic numbers that, of course, were good for the markets, a little bit less than expected, so that's good for the economic outlook, and we see that everything has been lining up perfectly here in terms of how these things have been trading. So this big move to the upside left us with lots of support and resistance that was confluent with our anchored VWAPs. So you see all of these things lining up very nicely here, and then you also see that we've got these order flow thresholds, these volume by price thresholds, that are giving us really good indication of an overlap again of more confluence with these zones. So when this kind of thing happens, what that tells you is that you've got good reason to expect that things are going to continue to move in a very geometric fashion. So the geometry here, of course, this is the main move of the day. And this pullback to a 382 fib ratio happens to be confluent, once again, confluence, the name of the game here, with this pivot line. So we've got the second resistance pivot. You should note that second resistance is mostly going to represent the furthest excursion for a day. Right now it looks like we've got more of a situation here where this is actually becoming the fulcrum for what's happening over the morning so far and probably going into the afternoon. I do think we're going to oscillate. I think we're going to get back down below this thing. I've been very careful in talking to the guys about where we're putting profit objectives and why we're setting entries. So you can see that we're on the right side of the session VWAP and have been for the entire day, and that we're able to use the intraday VWAPs and the support and resistance thresholds that we've drawn here as very good places to set entries and targets, and that I've got a very tight stop down at 334.41 on any move that gets us down below that 334.62 entry threshold. So we're looking to get in right at that pivot line, and we've been taking a first profit objective at the first line above there at 335.18, and then 335.80 is the extension. And look how nicely the extension on the trade lines up with this particular volume-weighted average price. So the volume-weighted average price lines up with a natural support and resistance threshold. It did get above that threshold earlier, but not for long, broke right back down through. So our expectancy, generally speaking, is that when we get to that level, then most likely what's going to happen is sort of a repeat where we come back down into the range and a reset then of our entry criteria. The other thing to look for is when we see things like this happening, right, at these Bollinger Bands or 2 standard deviation excursions from the mean, then the most likely thing that's going to come on the heels of that is a move back down into this moving average of the closing price. So that's a 14-period moving average right there. And all of this stuff has lined up today. We haven't had a ton of trades, but we've had 5 of them, and all 5 have been great. And the boys from Oregon have been right on top of them. And I've also got a visitor today, another private client, family office client from Arizona. So he's rocking, he's jamming too. Everything's going just as expected, and I'm hoping that the afternoon is going to represent additional significant opportunity for profits. Right, so thanks for joining me. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. So we've got these live streams each and every day, and we'll see everybody in the first hour trading pit first thing tomorrow morning. Right, so have a great trading day, and we'll see you later.